Y'all, let's go ahead and let's start with the first game, y'all. Let's start with the Raptors and the Knicks. Um, we the New York Knicks, man, they wasn't playing with the Raptors. But tell me what you guys seen in this game, though.
Are we going to act like the Knicks have not smoked Toronto both the times that they played them? And I know this is the regular season. A lot of us don't take the regular season that much. We only use the regular season as a barometer. I mean, we saw what happened when Phoenix went up against Minnesota 2 years ago in the playoffs. They beat them 3 times in the regular season, got swept out of the playoffs, right? So we don't really use the regular season as a barometer. But watching the Knicks go up against Toronto yesterday, I mean, they dominated them in every aspect of the game. Cat looked like a big man. In addition to Cat looking like a big man, I mean, Scottie Barnes looked good, but then Jalen Brunson just completely dominates their point guard matchup. Completely dominates that. And the fact that they got OG back, that just makes them look so much more viable. So I wouldn't be surprised if I saw this in the playoffs and this continued, to be honest with you. And I don't really take a lot of regular season stuff into account, but in this particular situation, I would not be surprised if I saw this in the playoffs and they completely served Toronto. So,
Sure, you said that. You said that a couple of times. Like, I understand where you say that you've seen playoff matchups where they don't look like the regular season matchups, but it's still a basketball game, and I think you should absolutely take what you see in the regular season into account for what for what to expect, not only in the playoffs, but who's the better team. If this team is dominating this team in the regular season, only just because you've seen a couple instances where it didn't work out like that in the playoffs, I think the regular season shows a lot. This Knicks team, they're just better. That's all. I mean, they're better. I mean, the OG Anunoby effect is real.
The reason why I say that, Ox, the reason why I say that, Ox, is because when you have that time to just focus on that one team, for example, Orlando and the Miami Heat. Like if I got a whole week to focus on Orlando, if I got a whole week to focus on the Miami Heat, I'm watching how Orlando yesterday, and we're gonna get to Orlando. I'm watching how great their transition defense was. They focus on that. Like I got a whole week to focus on that. I'm watching the Knicks yesterday, and I'm watching how they recognize the hole that Toronto has in their interior defense. And Cat just took advantage of that. Now, that may get shored up throughout the course of the regular season. Now, in the playoffs, it's a little bit different because you don't. And when I say it gets shored up, I'm thinking about a possible trade. I'm thinking about somebody that they can get in free agency, a mid-level exception guy, something like that. With that being said, when it's during the playoffs, that's a hole that you can't really cover because this is just what it is. I mean, throughout the course of the rest of the season, I think it could be a little bit different.
And I think I agree with you, Chill. I think the NBA Cup's given us very highly competitive basketball very early in the season. And I think that sometimes it can accelerate the growth of a team. I think Indiana making the run to the NBA Cup in the inaugural season probably accelerated their growth as a unit. I think it can do these types of things because you're playing for something and you can see the intensity get turned all the way up. I think for last night's games, for me personally, the big takeaways were we probably learned a little bit more about Toronto and Miami than we did about the Knicks and Orlando. I think when I'm watching the game, like you said, the Knicks just really dominated this one. Brunson was unplayable in the point guard matchup. And big shout out to Josh Hart. Man, Josh Hart, since he's been inserted into the starting lineup, they're a plus 15 net, I believe. They've won 8 and only lost 1 with him in the starting lineup. And when we talk about glue guys and connectors and guys just being able to play hard and that energy being infectious, Josh Hart's one of those guys. So, big takeaway from that one was Josh Hart's impact. And I don't feel good if Toronto, like to your point, Chill, sees the Knicks in a playoff matchup. I wouldn't feel good about that if I was there.
One thing about the is my mic louder? Y'all can hear me better?
Yeah, you are.
Okay, cool.
I know a certain guy from Canada's not here, but would anybody like to speak into what you guys seen from the Raptors last night? Did they just get beat? And for full transparency, guys, I know some people in the chat that didn't catch the game. I actually didn't happen to catch the game last night. So I'm asking out of curiosity. Well, I was in and out the game. I was covering another game. But did the Raptors just not show up last night? Did the Knicks just outplay them? Was there a certain player that didn't really play good?
But it's not.
Yeah.
It's not just
Yeah,
it's
the
not just
Raptors showed up. Their best player didn't show up. That's
Who's the best player?
didn't show up. Yeah, that's what he didn't show up. But some guys showed up. Some guys tried to go bam for bam with Jalen Brunson in the first quarter, and then got no assistance from their supposed best player on the team.
Fact.
And that kind of derailed things.
Interesting.
But yeah, for the most part, I would say a lot of the Raptors showed up. Jacoby Walter gave some good minutes yesterday. That was cool. Colin Murray Boyles gave some decent minutes. Brandon Ingram was really, really good, especially early on. I think Jamal Sheds did about as good as you could hope for a player of Jamal Shed's caliber. Like, he had the ball moving, he made his threes. So I think Jamal Shed was cool. Jakob Poeltl was, but for the most part, yeah, I would say the Raptors showed up for the most part. If their best player decided to join the party, I think the game would have been a bit more competitive. But he didn't, and that happens sometimes.
I want to call. Can we call it what it is? Because Ox been talking about this dude for quite some time now. OG Anunoby shut the door on that dude last night. He shut the door on him last night. Let's call it what it is. OG Anunoby told Scottie Barnes, I don't know what everybody else out here is doing, but you're not getting involved in this. I'm going to make sure that you're not going to be involved in any of this. I'm going to make sure that everything that you get tonight is going to be extremely difficult. Extremely. And he did that. When he got off the ball, he didn't let him get the ball back. When he did get the ball, he was extremely disruptive with him. It was one shot. He forced him into turnovers. OG Anunoby did a great job on Scottie Barnes last night. Great.
Chill, you got to remember, OG taught Scottie everything he know.
By the way.
Oh, yeah, OG was over there in Toronto, huh?
Yes, sir. By the way. Yes.
But it wasn't. But Ron,
I just want to put it out there that Brandon Ingram was frying that same OG Anunoby yesterday. But it's
frying
cool.
him. He was
frying OG's not for everyone, so it's cool. Like,
Hey Mars, just because I could whoop you doesn't mean I could whoop him. No.
Yeah, I was just
Those two things ain't the same thing. Nah.
I mean, we've seen OG get cooked before. You know what I mean?
Yes, that's happened.
Yeah, you're gonna get cooked in the league from time to time. But
yes.
I think Ron, it wasn't just last night with the Raptors, and I think the same. I think Miami was the same when I said that last night tells you more about the teams that lost. I think, but I think this is why I always say that you have to take the first 25, 30, 35 games with a grain of salt, because we get very excited about some teams. You know, we get too low on some teams, but over the course of the season, usually it normalizes and comes back to baselines. And I think that sort of this, I think the Raptors started off really well. They're sort of normalizing again, 15 and 11. Same with the Heat, 14 and 11. I think they're the 8th seed now, the Heat, after all of a sudden being, you know, a top 4 seed for most of the season. So I think it's just about teams sort of more so falling into who they actually are. And I think the Raptors have been struggling lately, like they have been. And some of it is Scottie. Like if we're gonna put Scottie on a pedestal, sometimes when he's playing well, we also have to shine the light when he's not performing. And this is one of the reasons why people aren't as big on Scottie as his potentially, you know, wants us to believe, because in these really big moments when everything's on the line and you want someone to come to help out Brandon Ingram offensively, he's just nowhere to be seen. You know, against the Lakers, he had an amazing third quarter, but for the other 3 quarters, sometimes you forget he's on the floor offensively. You know, that can't happen when we're talking about guys that want to be all NBA, that guys are trying to be, you know, that are your franchise cornerstones. You're expecting these guys to show up when it matters most. And someone like OG can't have this guy in jail in a winner takes all sort of environment. So I just thought it was a little disappointing, but I just think it's these teams reverting back to sort of who they are ultimately.
Damon, you got to look at the East. The 3 and 9 seed are separated by a game and a half. It's one. It's
just
one
so you know, Ron, I could go from hosting the playoff series. I could go from hosting the playoff series to possibly being out the playoffs. That could happen in a week.
Mm-hmm.
In 1 week, that could happen. That's the separation that we're looking at right now. But the same thing happens when it happens in the Western Conference. Wow, the Western Conference is incredible. The Western Conference is so awesome. Meanwhile, in the East, when you got a team that's in third place,
because the teams are mid over there in the East.
See, here we go.
I mean, we're seeing it now, right?
Chill.
We're
The number 6 seed in the West would damn near be the 2 seed in the East.
Who's the 6th seed in the West?
The number 6 seed in the West right now.
That mid-team
is Minnesota. Yeah. Minnesota is the 6th seed in the West.
Team mid as hell.
Mhm.
I'm not going to be a
Maybe.
believer in the Raptors until I start believing in, Scottie Barnes as an offensive player. And I don't know when I'm ever going to do that, to be honest with you. He's just not the number one option that you're looking for in a, number one on your team type of player or archetype. The jumper fades when he needs it. Doesn't really have a lot of go-to moves outside of, being a really good transition player or open court player. He thrives there. But anything in the half court, when he has to generate offense for himself, it can get a bit nasty. But also just want to give out a shout out to Jalen Brunson, who, in my opinion, anybody 6'2", 6'1", and under, he's as good of a scorer as we've seen that height in NBA history. I'm there with Jalen Brunson, bro. Jalen Brunson can score on all three levels. He has a post game. He can shoot pull-up threes, catch and shoot threes. He can shoot pull-up middies out of pick and roll. He can get it to his isolation bag. He's efficient everywhere on the court. He's a great free throw shooter as well. He can get into the intermediate game with floats and finish at the like. Jalen Brunson is really one of them ones. And, he kind of is in that tier of player, like, to me, with like Donovan Mitchell, to where I don't think they get the credit that they fully deserve. Because this is also somebody who has a lot of great playoff performances as well. It's not like we're waiting to see if Jalen Brunson can translate into the playoffs. We've seen him do that multiple times now. So I just want to give a shout out to Jalen Brunson because he's one of the greatest, 6'2" underscores we've seen in the league.
Real talk, when you're talking about tough shot makers, because we actually had a conversation not too long ago about tough shot makers, where does he rank amongst the better tough shot makers in the game? Like when I think about tough shot makers, Irv, Jamal Murray, Steph Curry, Joker. I mean, I'm thinking about tough shot makers.
Luka,
even though that's not his entire diet of shots, but he's a damn good tough shot maker. What do you think he is when it comes to tough shot making?
I mean, he's definitely in the upper echelon of that. If I were to give a ranking, probably top 5-ish, right? Because you have to remember a lot of his stuff is kind of tough. You know what I'm saying? He has to create a little bit of space because he's not the most athletic guy in the world, right? It's not like he's just flying by people off the dribble and stuff like that. He's a very methodical type of scorer. Kind of tries to get to his spots, get a little body contact to create some separation and get into a jumper that's usually at least slightly contested. But again, he's hitting these shots at a remarkable clip. So I definitely would say he's one of the top ones for sure.
Sure. I don't give him enough credit for the
Big
space.
fan,
I don't
okay.
give him enough credit, Ron, for the space that he creates. Even though he's 6'1", 6'2", something like that. I don't give him enough credit for the space that he creates to get those shots off. Because when you're not that athletic and you don't get up off the floor as high as you need to, like, you got jump shooters like Zach LaVine who jumps this high on his jump shot. Like, that's not Brunson. So Brunson, in order for him to get his shot off, he needs to create a lot of space. And I think he's great at angles. Now, him going as Shed yesterday, I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't expect Shed to go band for band with him, but I also think that, as a defender, which is what Shed is, I'm going to do my best to at least make it difficult on him. But it's hard to make it difficult on a guy who's an elite tough shot maker. He's elite at that. It's hard to make it difficult on them. Very much so.
It's the panel. Religion get built on cam. Where the check throw smoke and the host go ham. You ain't never seen hoops out hit the raw. Every take got weight, every night we drop. This that barbershop. Courtside, worldwide tone. Welcome to the only show that really feel like numbers jumping like the score.